In the summer of 2021, working at One Life Gym, Lee was a very fit and healthy 190 pounds. He was the picture of health, as you can clearly see. Then in October, he started feeling very worn down. In November, he was diagnosed with mono, but it would not go away, and he was finally admitted into the hospital on December 1st. By mid-December, he was diagnosed with liver failure and sepsis of the blood. December 20th, he was diagnosed with HLH, which causes multi-organ failure. And January 22nd, he woke up not being able to walk or talk. And 2 days later, on Miriam's birthday, he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in his brain, spine, liver, ribs, and hips. His lungs collapsed and he was put on a trach as well as a feeding tube. But he still smiled. And when his mom asked him if he wanted to keep fighting, you know what she got? She got 2 thumbs up because Lee could still not talk. They decided he would ultimately receive a bone marrow transplant. But by this time, he had lost 87 pounds. The self-challenge began, and he had a picture made of his baby biceps. He got his trach removed and started walking and talking. He could not even lift 1 pound weight, so he began working out with bands.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4.
Are you gonna try it with your hands up?
Yes.
There you go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Until he graduated to 3 and 5 pound weights. This is Lee 1 hour before his bone marrow transplant. And this is Lee the day after his bone marrow transplant. He kept lifting until he got released to the Ronald McDonald House, where he stayed consistent day after day, no matter how he felt. He stayed positive and upbeat. And here he is at the Ronald McDonald House because he can now lift 10 pounds.
This is me working out, and I just had to say, I love you. I love you.
He needed a change of scenery, but he could not be in enclosed spaces or around people because the bone marrow transplant compromised his immune system. So he went to the park during off hours, and he used his own body weight to work out.
Yeah. 1. I'm gonna go for 10.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Finally, after 243 days, he was released to go home. And thankfully, he had a home gym because the grind just continued. Home workouts continued day in and day out for months and months. He stayed consistent, making small improvements every single day. It was systems he put in place over goals. It was progress over perfection. It was delayed gratification. It was the people he surrounded himself with. It was who he was. He didn't have to convince himself to train. He simply acted like the type of person he believed himself to be, a fitness fanatic. Finally, he was released to the public gym this past spring and returned to One Life, where he still works out today. Lee is currently working at Chick-fil-A. And remember the playground push-up video? This was last month at the same spot where when he started, he could barely do 10. And this is Lee today living his best life, still trying to improve and grow and be better than he was yesterday. He just completed his personal training certification so he can become a personal trainer. He is Lee T. Strong.